Hello, everybody. How amazing is that? Welcome to this fantastic official holiday. Welcome to the Emerging Media Alliance launch party. My name is Caitlin McShay, and I am here as an individual and a representative as a member of the Emerging Media Alliance myself, for which I am very proud. I am also here on behalf of the Santa Fe Institute, which is itself an organizational member of the Emerging Media Alliance. And you may hear that and say, well, how do I become a member? How does my organization become a member? And to that I say, stay tuned. I would like to echo a bit of the gratitude that we just heard, and in my own way extend thanks to Frank and Mariana Parallel Studios for hosting this launch party here in the state of Detroit. As you are all about to see, we are surrounded by 30,000 square feet of emerging media incorporated, right? Like, incorporeal, experiential way. You're surrounded by it, and if you don't know what that means, ask the people wearing these buttons, find out more. But this space is the perfect venue for this launch party, so thank you to them. And I also want to extend, on behalf of the Santa Fe Institute myself, a big gratitude towards the Emerging Media Alliance, who worked very hard in the promotion of our most recent event, the Interplanetary Festival, which was fortunate enough to also take place during now officially Emerging Media Month. So that's my little bit of that. Without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce to the stage Caitlin Conjus, who is here on behalf of Descartes Labs to talk about the work she does as an applied scientist there and the work that Descartes is doing for the city. So, thank you. All right. Can you guys hear me? Yep. Yeah. All right, so we're going to nerd out for a minute. I was asked to talk about how I came to Santa Fe and what in the last 10 years led me here. So 10 years ago, I was here in the heart of the Mekong Delta, exploring the rice paddy fields and everything the country had to offer. I was in my 20s, and I was really eager to not get a real job, and so that meant spending my savings on spa and bike rentals. And little did I know at that point that this exploration would lead to a much larger journey that would take me back to graduate school and eventually to Santa Fe. So the Mekong River Delta is home to 20 million people. Most of them farm rice. But climate change, rising sea levels, and urbanization are affecting their livelihoods. I wanted to study these changes and their impacts, and I proposed to do so to NASA. They funded me to use their satellite imagery to do this. And I went back to grad school, and in my final year at the University of Wisconsin getting my PhD, I discovered a small tech startup in New Mexico called Descartes Labs. I was intrigued. I turned restless in grad school, I was ready for a new adventure, and I was ready to explore a new place. So when I got offered a job in the first few months of the company, I eagerly came here, and I finished my dissertation in my new home in Santa Fe as an applied scientist at Descartes Labs. So we do amazing scientific research at Descartes, and we couldn't do it just anywhere. The technology and science that founded Descartes Labs was incubated at Los Alamos National Labs, and our first home was perched upon a mesa in Los Alamos. Some of us still remember that, and a lot of our new employees don't, but it's foundational to our company. We're thrilled to be a part of the larger scientific community in New Mexico, in northern New Mexico, and also to work with folks like the Emerging Media Alliance and be the science and tech arm of this organization. So what is some of this amazing research that I allude to? So if we look at some of these rice paddy fields in Vietnam that I spent much of my adult life in, we can identify every single one of them using an algorithm that looks for boundaries in satellite imagery. And it recently got patented, which is awesome. And if I had had this technology when I was in grad school, it would have made my life incredibly easier to model rice fields at a farm level. We also have an amazing team of computer vision engineers. So what you're looking at here is a video of my hometown, Los Angeles, in Griffith Park and the Hollywood Hills. And we can identify every single building on the landscape using high-resolution satellite imagery. And you can imagine how useful this is to urban planners, and especially if an event like an earthquake or a landslide or something like that strikes. But the research that's most near and dear to my heart is what we're doing right here in our backyard. So we are monitoring wildfires in northern New Mexico using satellite imagery that we go. On the left, you can see optical imagery, so that's what our eyes can see. And on the right, you can see near-infrared imagery. So we can't see that, but it's very sensitive to heat. And here you're looking at the Ute fire, east of Taos, that broke out a couple weeks ago. And this imagery is really cool because we are streaming this. Thanks, Sarah. We get it every 5 minutes. So 5 minutes after the satellite collects this data, it's processed and stored in our data archive. So we're really monitoring these in real time. And the most important part of this research is we're connecting with local officials at the USGS and the Santa Fe National Forest to make sure that what we're doing at Descartes is turned into actionable insights for our community. So I think this gives a really good overview of what satellite data can do to further our understanding of Earth. But a few more examples. We can look at these really massive and beautiful phytoplankton blooms off the north shore of my favorite place in the world, the Virgin Islands, but this is a true color image. So if we were hovering in space, this is exactly what our eyes would see. But I think the real power of satellite imagery lies in what our eyes can't see, and it's truly the next frontier of exploration. For example, this is the Amazon Delta. So as plants photosynthesize, they reflect a lot of near-infrared light, which we can't see. But here appears in red. So you can see the rainforest, the Amazon rainforest, in this red-orange color. And you'll note that there are clouds, but there are also these patches of bright green-blue on the landscape. And this represents some sort of deforestation. So it's from urbanization or logging. And we can see that in satellite imagery, and it's really powerful to monitor these spots on the globe. Similarly, we can extend that logic and look at fields right here again in New Mexico in Farmington. So these are center pivot irrigation fields. And this bright red color, again, is reflecting near-infrared light and represents very healthy vegetation. And the fields that are less red are either less healthy or at an earlier stage of their development. But in looking at this, we can estimate yields from agriculture right here in our backyard, which is very powerful. And so this is just looking at near-infrared. There's a lot of infrared bands, and if we look at all of them, we can see something like this. So this is monitoring biodiversity hotspots. So this dark blue area is the Sundarban National Forest in Bangladesh, and it's surrounded by rice paddy fields and villages. And having this synoptic view of the Earth like we get with satellite imagery, we can ensure that human development isn't encroaching on these really special natural areas in our world. My favorite kind of satellite imagery is radar. So this is Singapore Harbor. And if you look at radar imagery, it doesn't matter if there are clouds. Instead of passively imaging the Earth, it's emitting energy to the Earth and measuring how much comes back. And because of that, it doesn't matter if there are clouds, and we can monitor these very cloudy parts of the world all year long and see areas like with boats and downtown Singapore. And monitoring this sort of human development is really critical for us to understand the broader environment that we're living in. So 10 years ago, I never wanted to stop exploring. And now that I'm a scientist at Descartes Labs, I don't have to. I'm so thrilled to live in a community like Santa Fe that encourages and nurtures scientists, artists, and explorers. And we're really excited to be here with EMA, and we can't wait to see the great things you do for this community. Thank you.